Happy Sunday, guys. I've been having this thought lately about how much consuming is so not over glorified, but more so pushed in our society. And what do I mean by over consuming or being part of this consuming society? On first thought, you might think that, the intake of food, I'm consuming junk food, all this stuff. And at first glance, you may be right. You may be right that there's a sense of overconsumption of these hyper palatable foods, these over processed pieces of garbage, that a lot of people just unknowingly put inside their bodies. And then that's a topic for another day. But what I'm trying to get at is just why do we buy so much shit, especially as men. And this is something I came to realize 3 years ago when I graduated college. To give you a little bit of background, I went to 4-year university, and not knowing how to properly budget my school expenses or anything like that. Hell, fuck budget. I don't know what the fuck that was. But essentially, the amount of scholarships I got was just enough to help me get by. But overall, I still had to take out about $6,000 a year in loans just to help me pay for school, in a sense. And so I graduated college with about $27,000 in debt. Luckily, I also worked my fucking ass off in college, got my engineering degree, got the job as an engineer, and I left college with a 60K job. But I still had $27,000 in debt. So I was still in the negative just because I was making $60K a year. And it sounds fucking awesome. Oh, $60K a year. No. The paycheck trap really does take huge effect. Because when you get paid on a bi-weekly period, there's a sense of, I just got this money. I gotta spend it. Oh, I grew up my entire life just fucking spending shit, over consuming. And so the first idea I've been coming up with is just how easily, as not just men, but as a society, we just think taking on debt, bad debt. My personal opinion, I think every kind of debt is fucking bad. Like, you're basically a slave to the person that gave you that money. But that's also another discussion for another day. What I'm trying to get at is that we just so easily accept that you have to get into this absurd amount of debt in the hopes that you can pay it off in the future. And yet people graduate like me, 30K in debt, 20, 25, 30K in debt. And they get the job, and then they start making they just get by. They start making just minimum monthly payments. And that's I'm not saying that's everybody, I'm speaking from my experience on how I tackled my debt. But it took me about 2 to 3 months after I graduated and was working. I just had this money. I didn't know what the fuck to do with it. I was like, shit, what do I do? And then it hit me. I was like, fuck, I gotta pay off my debt. Because at the same time, Biden had paused the student loan interest. So my debt, it did get some interest over the years, but it paused. So it finally hit me in a sense that, and it was kind of my purpose at that time, is that I had to get rid of my debt no matter what. I aligned everything I had just to get rid of that fucking debt and just be free, have this weight off my shoulder. And so I tackled it. I made a plan. Within a year, I was going to pay off my debt. And I did. I was paying I'm pretty sure 70% of my paycheck was just going towards my debt. And I was just living to the bare minimum. And I felt pretty alive at that time. I was like, man, it's pretty good. I'm on the edge of my seat. I got to pay off this fucking debt. It was just on my mind all the damn time. And so that kind of debt is the typical one. But the main point of this video, or this rambling of this random ass curly haired dude, is why as a man you want to get into debt? You know, guys would literally get into debt for like a fucking pickup, like a 50,000K pickup or a 40,000K pickup or something like that, and end up paying like at least $1,000 car payment, which you don't have to do that. You really don't. Like why the fuck is this, as a society we are just constantly turning out new fucking pickup every fucking year? Like, is it the one? I'm pretty sure like 2012, like that was like peak. 2014, I would say at least after 2014, like vehicles are just gone to shit. You know, just constantly break, and it's kind of like it's planned obsolescence in my crazy conspiracy theory, enforcing us to continue to consume and buy more to further boost the economy and the shitty GDP metric. And I'm not an economist or anything like that. This is just from me observing just typical normal people and how they think that taking out all this debt just to prove to people that they're living this lifestyle, because really financing is just a way for poor people to feel like they're rich. That's all it is. You know, you can literally get a fucking Porsche. You can get the minimum monthly payment, but it could be like a 60 month plan. So for 5 years, you are basically trading away your freedom, this sense of security, for what? For a car that takes you from point A to point B? Like, we got to start thinking logically about these things, because fuck, what time is it? Okay, I still got time. 12:27. All right, we're good. So we have to start thinking logically and rationally about these things, because you don't. This is for me as a guy, and this ties back into, you know, the warrior mindset, which is one facet of. This is one facet of what I believe is becoming a true masculine male. And so, as a warrior, you don't really need anything. What you need is just good food, sleep comfortably. You know, you got to recover. Fuck, is that it? And of course, a place to stay. And, you know, looking back on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's kind of like the first two bases of the pyramid. And that's all you need as a guy. You don't need to be in a crazy amount of fucking debt. Hell, like, the goal is to be debt free as possible. Because trading away your freedom just to finance for bullshit, like, fuck, you can finance clothes nowadays. You can finance random bullshit. And like, if you have to finance for something, you don't need it. You honestly don't need it. Because if you can't pay for it now, then if you can't pay the full payment now, then it's simply a want, not a need. You have to knock out your needs first. Everything else is just a luxury. Food, having good, nutritious food, having a just basic apartment. Like, I live in a 1.5 bedroom apartment, but I pay like $425 a month, which is fucking insane to think about it. Like, I'm making pretty good money and I'm paying $425 a month. I paid off my car. I don't have any loan debt. Fuck, I'm just raking in cash. And that's the next point too, is that once you get out of debt, you have to be careful not to fall into the lifestyle inflation trap, which is, now that you have this money, now you think that, okay, now my lifestyle has to keep up with that money. No. That's not how it should be. Of course, who doesn't want a house? Who doesn't want their own property? But you don't have to take out a mortgage, which is just an overglorified loan when you think about it. It's like, oh, people think, oh, I bought a house, but okay, you had $150,000 just straight up, just lying there. You just bought the house. Like, you just graduated college and you just bought a house. It's kind of bullshit, not gonna lie. And that's something I had to realize myself, because I was feeling a little bit insecure back when I was using Instagram, being a consumer with it. Is that all this stuff was like people my age, I was looking at them like how are you affording that, in a sense? You know, I was looking at them. I was like, man, I feel like I'm doing pretty successful for myself, but yet I don't have half the shit they have. I'm not in near as much debt as they are. Why the fuck are they doing it? Are they even happy? Are they even fulfilled? That's the key point. Because happiness is just a feeling. What we're trying to aim for is fulfillment. We're trying to feel like our life has purpose, that our suffering has meaning. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what purpose is. And a really good quote, I was reading this fantasy book the other day, all completely off topic, but the only path to becoming what others cannot is to suffer what others will not. And at the end of the day, that's what your purpose is what are you willing to suffer for? What suffering can you take on in order to improve your lifestyle, your life? And circling back to the main topic of this video is, don't fall prey to this consuming society. Consumption is more of I'm referring to it as more of a metaphysical term. It's not something just physical. It's more like the the mental aspect of it. It comes in the form of music. Have you been over consuming music lately? You've just taken in, can you be in silence? It even comes with, it's arguable, but if you are reading like, self-improvement books or like just general books about learning about the mind, learning about human psychology, that's okay. I honestly think that's okay to consume because there's like a net benefit. It's like you're adding more software to the brain, good software. You're getting rid of that piece of shit malware that you accidentally downloaded from watching too much porn. And there's another example, consuming fucking porn. That's a terrible thing. You end up consuming so fucking much, it just fucks up your brain. But with books, fiction books, fantasy books, you can end up over consuming those. Like those do become an addiction. So you have to be mindful of all these little things. So what do you do? What do you do? First off, if you have any debt, get rid of that shit. It holds you down. Like you literally feel spiritually chained down. Like you're a slave. Like debt, modern day debt is modern day slavery. And for most college graduates, the government is their master. Since most of those loans are federal, they got it from a federal program. So that's basically step one. Step two is, okay, I got rid of my debt. I got rid of extraneous debt, like my car payment. That's paid off. My car's all good to go. I'm taking care of it. Perfect. Ready to go. Okay, that's step one, pay off every single debt. Step two, stop consuming all these unnecessary things. You got to eat. Okay, that's one thing. But then everything else is a luxury. Your music, your YouTube, your Netflix, Amazon Prime, ordering random bullshit. You're spending more than you're producing. Your spending is consumption as well, because that's another topic. That's another topic for another video. But in essence, stop buying shit that you don't need. Focus on what you do need, not what you want. And try to balance out the consumption with the production. So what does it mean by producing? Well, start writing. Write out your thoughts. That's an easy way to produce something. Write out your thoughts. Write out in a journal. Just write down something. So that way you're adding more points to production. You're adding more positive than negative. Anything consuming is sort of a negative down effect. But anything producing is sort of a positive net benefit. And of course, it's a bit of a caveat for consuming, because you can consume like educational podcasts, anything educational, anything that will improve skills or give you more quality of life is what's important. I'm still not done talking. I am going to church. I got to help out Spanish mass. I am Catholic, so I'm gonna keep talking while I keep rambling, to be honest. Gotta close my door. Oh, phone's in my hand. I was like, fuck, I left it behind. But fuck, where was I going with this? Fuck, it is a beautiful day out here, like 60 degrees. Fucking love it. Okay, open the car. By the way, I got out like English mass like 40 minutes ago. Gotta help out in Spanish mass. That's another aspect of being a man. You gotta be part of the community. Okay, fucking video paused out of fucking nowhere. Probably was playing, but yeah, music. That's all right. So, I am now tying this back to masculinity. Why is being debt-free a masculine aspect? Well, it goes back to achieving that ultimate freedom of doing whatever you want, because when you have no debt, no one can control you, and when no one can control you, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And that's really the goal, is doing whatever the fuck you want. That fuels your inner purpose, that fuels that inner drive to be better. And so that's where I kind of want to end off today. What are some things that you feel like are tying you down, chaining you to the confines of society? And I'm not saying society in a whole is bad, just this whole, fuck, what's the damn word? Well, not over glorifying, but more so this kind of push, this sense of you have to be in debt, you have to constantly rack up debt in order to feel like you belong in society. When in reality, like as a man, all you need, again, tie in a bag, good food, place to sleep, and just something that fuels your purpose, something that lights your soul on fire, gives you that spirit of fire within you. Damn, people all over the place today. So that's where I want to end off today. Some little nuggets to think about as I'm starting to develop my thoughts, starting to articulate and start practicing speaking. I'm hoping in the future I can come back to these topics and fully flesh out how to address them. So, I am currently driving right now, so I do not want to be too distracted. I am going to leave it off today. You guys have a happy Sunday, and I'll see y'all next week.